should actually call it
Oh,
Quinn's. Oh, you got your
uh,
downvote, dude. You got your downvote.
oh, I did get my downvote. Aw, that's so sweet. I'm glad you hate watch me. Thank you. Anyway, this is the Redeye stream for 171. Time for some more conspiracies because we're a bunch of crazy people, and that's cool. I'm here with the craziest of them all, Quinn. How are you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing well, mate. I've had plenty of Jack Daniels and Coke, so I'm quite comfortably numb.
Oh, nice. So you're ready to dive right into the fucking psychosphere.
No
All
worries,
right.
man. Let me know and I'll start reading.
Yeah, no. So the first story we found, we only got a couple stories, and then we're gonna spitball from there. It's the Red Eye stream. That's what we do. But the first story is about they found a fucking what was that? A wine bottle or a fucking beer bottle on Mars? Did the rover get drunk and just drop it off? What's going on?
Personally, I reckon it was a bunch of hicks. They went up there and left their Jack Daniels behind.
But no, they never do that. They keep the bottles so they can shoot them with their guns.
Good point, sir.
But no, can you read a little bit about that? And we'll start there, and we'll see if the panel grows as we go.
Okay, all right. Lunar Gateway, a shortcut to Mars. NASA plans to put a module in orbit around the moon as a springboard for missions to the Red Planet and beyond. Spaceflight will mark an important milestone this year when NASA celebrates the 50th anniversary of US astronauts reaching the moon. In December 1968, Frank Borman, Jim Lovell, and Bill Anders on Apollo 8 swept over the lunar surface and captured bright blue images of Earth rising above the grey plains of the moon. It's one of the most dramatic space missions ever flown.
Are you being eaten by a drop bear, fuck or farty? I almost called you someone else. I almost called you fucking God brother, which would be a horrible, horrible slander. And I apologize, sir.
No. I'm not being eaten by drop bears. They typically rather Yanks and tourists.
Hello, mate.
G'day.
But go ahead, Quinn. No, we're just doing conspiracies tonight, Farty. So you should have some fun with this. We could bring up the drop bears. It'll be great. And I'm sure Nazi penguins will come up. But
you and your bloody Nazi penguins, dude.
They're a real threat, and everybody fucking needs to know about them. I'm telling you.
No. It's not the penguins. It's the dolphins. The dolphins are organized.
Oh dear, oh god. Okay, right. But now NASA has revealed plans to return to the moon and has asked European scientists and industry leaders to join the agency in a bold plan aimed at rebooting humanity's conquest of the solar system in the form of an international manned station that will orbit the moon within the next decade.
Well, you know what? I gotta stop you right there. Why exactly is this taking a decade? We went to the moon in the '60s, if that even happened. We're talking about conspiracies tonight, and that's a whole different ball of wax right there. But I'm guessing it did happen. So we went to the moon in the '60s and '70s. Why the fuck do we just now think, hey, maybe we should build a space station there?
Well, I can answer that one for you. Well, once they basically got to like Apollo 15, they'd realised the Russians aren't even bothering to go to the moon. So that's basically when the interest with NASA stopped. But with all the new technologies that we got now, we haven't actually tested all the new shit. You've got to remember, like back in the old days, it was hardwired computers and all this kind of shit. Now we got diodes and fucking, they're looking at nano computers and how do they work in space and all this kind of stuff. So we've got to test that and make sure that like with SpaceX at the moment, they're trying to get human-rated vehicles now. So you got to test all of that shit, and that does take quite a while. The reason why we stopped sending men to the moon basically was also the technology jump. We could send probes there. That cuts out so much of the amount of rocket that you got to actually put up in space in the first place. And they're lighter. You don't have all the life support systems and human actual computers and all this kind of shit. They're far lighter, far cheaper, and you can send them with far smaller rockets. That's the main reason why we didn't go back up until now. I'm not sure why we want to go back now. What's the fucking point?
Well, I think the point would be because we've had this argument before on the excuse me, sorry, on the Redeye stream. But I think that's a good staging point for a Mars expedition. That's a good spot where you can actually build a larger craft that can carry the water and the food necessary, and you can just go back and forth from the space dock pretty much and Earth and supply it fully, and actually be able to go to Mars and maybe perhaps not have everybody die.
It's an idea, I suppose. I mean, you don't really want all of your astronauts dying. After all, NASA is well known as need another 7 astronauts.
Well, yeah, like Challenger, that never happened. I mean, this is conspiracy night, so Challenger never happened. That was all CGI, right?
Yeah, Challenger hit the second tower.
Oh god damn it!
It didn't blow up. It went into a time loop porthole thingy that happened to rematerialize at 10 feet away from the Twin Towers.
Oh wait, so that's the mix of the Philadelphia experiment and the Challenger accident and 9/11. Dude, you're on a fucking level.
Yeah, and then there's MK Ultra involved as well because they sprayed New York with this LSD toxin that only made them think they saw United Airlines jets.
Dude, why aren't you working for InfoWars yet? I say you send in your application.
That's some of the wacky shit that I heard when I was a debunker.
The Challenger was the first time NASA tried to send up a non-astronaut into space.
Yeah, school teacher.
Yeah. What did she teach?
Fucking kindergarten.
She taught explosion.
English, but now it's history.
Oh no.
What color were her eyes? Blue. Right. One blue there. One blue there. What were her last words?
What?
What's this button do?
Nice.
I got lots of these.
Oh shit! Is it too soon? Like, am I gonna get a strike for Challenger jokes?
No. Her last word. I'm pregnant. You know why? Because the space shuttle fucked her.
Oh, subtle, not.
But no, we're just having fun tonight, MC. We're talking some conspiracies. We're starting off with Mars. So this gateway thing, is this the idea where they're actually going to use solar winds to power the spacecraft to Mars, or is this a different idea, Tim?
I think that the idea is that this is just going to be a, for want of a better, space station set up ready so as they can head off to Mars, and as they say, and beyond. And I love the fact that they actually made the point of saying that.
Well, they've also just found out too that photons, like light, actually has some tangible force to it in space. They've actually detected a planet that's outside our solar system and all this, and they reckon they're in about 60 years using this photonic transfer method. And what they're going to do is they're going to send a shit ton of little probes there and shoot them off with a laser, pretty much. And they reckon they can get to 0.9 the speed of light or something like that doing it this way. Then it's going to take 60 years.
Wow. Ooh.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I mean, you could do something like in sci-fi that they've done a million times, and that's the colony ships, where you actually get born on the ship and you're raised there and you keep going out into deep space. The problem is, though, we've talked about this before, and MC will probably attest to it because I think it was his argument. That will actually cause birth defects, and I don't know if this will actually work without an artificial gravity system, and we don't even know how gravity works. I mean, we can do centrifugal force, but that's about it.
Well, they don't even think you can actually have a fucking space because different ways on your veins and your heart and all that kind of stuff, and apparently you can't crack a fat.
Actually, I've got an idea on that one. Based on the whole tomb ship idea that we're talking, all they need to use is centrifugal force to produce some form of gravity. Assuming it takes like 2 to 3 generations, you breed in the natural resistances to the. Sorry, Bee's pissing herself and it's making me laugh. Right.
Is it just me that's breaking up? Do I have to F5 or is it Jensen, you guys?
No. I think he's distracted.
Yeah, sorry. Bee is absolutely laughing her ass off at the fact that we don't know how gravity works. Absolutely killed her, dude. Nice one. Right, no, seriously.
Well, no, we know how it works. We don't know why it works or how to reproduce it. But anyway, go ahead.
Well, no, because the whole point is we'd use centrifugal force to produce enough gravity for people to not completely turn to jelly. And the point is the babies that we're born there would actually end up developing being used to it. So, depending on how long it takes, eventually the colonists would. Sorry, she's absolutely pissing herself laughing. It's killing me. Right. Sorry. Right. The colonists would end up actually becoming quite inured to the effects of space travel.
Well, no, and B has a good comment in the chat. The spaceport, will it be staffed by the TSA? Like I answered in the chat, I fucking hope not. You're like, you even got to get groped when you're in space? That's bullshit.
Space groping. There you go. It's the new thing for the SJWs to complain about.
Yeah, you're man spreading on the fucking shuttle. God damn it.
No, seriously though, if children are actually born in space, even at a reduced gravity, the human body is actually incredibly good at adapting. For children more specifically. So enough time, which obviously it's going to take because it's not like we've got FTL or anything interesting like that, the children would actually be able to cope with the low gravity and it would have a much less harsh effect on their bodies. The only question,
Well,
of course,
yeah. What happens when you get to where you're going and you try to unload them in the high gravity?
that's the whole point of the centrifugal force. You get them used to it by identifying what the gravity of the planet is. And I believe we've got at least a working idea of the gravity of Mars. So as long as they actually set it up so as the gravity produced on the tomb ship is actually the same as on Mars, or at least close enough, they will actually adapt to it and, like I say, be a lot less affected by the differences in gravity because to them.
Okay. I thought we were talking about a long distance space voyage to like another planet, aside from Mars, not something within our own solar system.
No, that is true. I'm quite happy to admit that we're obviously going to have to send probes to the target location and find out what the gravity rating of said planet is. Because after all, we're sitting here thinking that it's reduced gravity. For all we know, we're going to go to a higher gravity world, which is going to be a damn sight harder to adapt to. The lower gravity will have a less effect than a high gravity world, because after all, the high gravity world, you'd need to build up your musculature system and your skeleton. The bone density. Thank you. Otherwise, you're basically going to get smushed when you get there. It is really about probes and getting the information first.
Yeah, well, that's true, but I just want to kind of correct Moondog in the chat. It takes around 8+ years to get to Mars. That's not true. It takes about 6 months, and they do it by they use the Earth as a slingshot when the planets align. You have to time it just right. But then to get back, it would take quite a while unless you wait for the next alignment. So that's why they don't just send a space shuttle directly to Mars to go fucking, skim it and check shit out, because it'll take forever to get back. The planets wouldn't be aligned anymore.
Well, I mean, when you say talking about a line, what they're looking for is something close to Earth's apogee, all right, which is the furthest distance from the sun, right, while Mars is in apogee, or vice versa. I sometimes screw those up. So that when one's further away from the sun, the other one's closer to the sun, so that the distance is closer. And you got to plan it, shoot it. You got to basically do it so that during that time frame you're at those points. It doesn't have to be 100%, but it's got to be fairly close. You can still, I mean, the Earth rotates around the sun, right, once a year. Now it's a little bit more to catch up to Mars, because Mars is a little less actually to catch up to Mars from a Mars to Earth orbital standpoint, simply because Mars, rotates around the sun at a slower rate. So I think the conditions, the optimal conditions are like every 2 years, between every 2 and every 4 years when that occurs. All right, so I mean that's for the minimum amount of fuel, the minimum amount of travel, etc. If you have a powerful enough engine, of course, or if you have enough energy, then it really doesn't make a whole lot of difference. All right, that becomes then relative, because it's a matter of how fast can you get up to speed and how fast can you slow down. If you use a constant acceleration and then a constant deacceleration by flipping the spacecraft around, theoretically, if you do a 1G acceleration, you can probably get there pretty quick. But maintaining 1G of acceleration for any length of time, we don't have enough energy, enough stored energy, at least from a chemical rocket, to do something like that.
Well, if they built a ship for this in space at like the space dock that we're talking about here, could it actually be nuclear powered and therefore maybe get more speed out of it and more viability? Because it would stay in space, it wouldn't be landing anywhere. You can have a bigger craft and you can have a landing pod also in it. I know I'm going all sci-fi here, but
you can do something like that. Although you've got to remember, when you start using nuclear anything like that, you're spraying radiation. And as long as the radioactive particles remain something light, like helium or hydrogen or something like that, it's probably not a big deal. But I don't think that if you want to do any kind of continuous missions like that, you're going to want to use that kind of a system. Now, you could use nuclear power to power an ion engine, but to be honest, none of us know how effective an ion engine really is going to be from a speed standpoint. It takes a long time. Theoretically, it would still take a long time to get up to speed to be able to collect enough free hydrogen that's roaming around to shove through and ionize it, all right, etc. So we can do it. Is it feasible for humans to do it at this point? Not exactly, because the other thing that you got to remember, it's very difficult to maintain a safe environment. It's not just the matter of the gravity, the 1G gravity. You also have to make sure that the pressure, the air pressure inside the capsules, are close to the standard for Earth. Now we know Mars doesn't have enough pressure, doesn't have enough air pressure, right? So if you're going to live on Mars efficiently, theoretically, the only way to do it would be to live underground. And I'm not talking a mile underground, I'm talking, or a foot underground. I'm talking, miles underground to where you can get the pressure up to more human standards.
Yeah, no, and they, at least on the History Channel thing I saw about colonizing Mars, they were talking about a bunch of coal plants and shit like that, just spewing shit up into the atmosphere to actually build an atmosphere that's thick enough for humans. What you want is the greenhouse gases on Mars, because it'll actually warm the planet, and that ice that's at the poles will actually melt, and you'll actually start to create a livable environment.
Okay.
But it would take forever.
Okay, let me explain something to everybody. All right, carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide, right, are some of the waste products from human breathing. But the difference between those and the amount of oxygen you need, all right, is very slight. If you put in too much carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, even if you got plenty of oxygen, you will die. That is what happened, actually, to the Huntley. It wasn't the fact that they didn't have enough oxygen. They said they couldn't scrub the carbon dioxide. So if you fill an atmosphere full of carbon dioxide on Mars, you are creating basically a poison cloud that people are going to live with it.
But wouldn't the poles actually melting and creating, and if you started to create vegetation and shit, you bring plants with you, aren't you going to kind of counteract that?
All right,
because
so
that's
you then scrub the freaking atmosphere of carbon dioxide, and guess what? It goes right back to where it was.
So it's just a matter of getting perfect balance. That's all. Okay, I say that's all, but that is what you'd need to do. Is I basically work out the.
You would have to find a way, to be honest, if you're going to keep the atmosphere at least somewhat stable, as far as pressure and everything goes. You're going to have to figure out a way to prevent the solar winds from stripping the atmosphere anyway. You're going to have to create some kind of magnetosphere like we have around the Earth.
I know. They should just push that dirty great big button like on Total Recall.
Well, okay, so why is Eli Musk trying his damnedest to get to Mars then? I mean, we are talking about conspiracies here. He wants to actually fucking take a shit ton of people there on a one-way journey. It sounds like a damn death trap.
Easy answer to that, because he's stoned off his fucking tits, that's why.
My theory is it's to help to advance the society of electronics. The higher we get in electronics, the better off we're going to be.
Yeah, that wasn't an e-cigarette he was smoking, though.
Well, no, I was going to say, like, I'm stoned half the time. Like, not right now, I'm not, but I'm getting ready to be. And I don't fucking want to go take a fucking shipload of people to Mars. Then again, I'm not a billionaire, so there's probably that.
Hell, I'll sign up to go to Mars, colonize it.
I think it'd be interesting, to be honest with you. I mean, at the end of the day, Mars is going to be our stepping stone out into the great blackness.
Yes.
So we do need to actually create some sort of colony there. And over time, Mars will basically become our... I'm going to use the term Forge World for creating of the ships, send out to the rest of the galaxy and spread the virus that is humanity into the great void.
I'd fucking laugh if they figured out later on that he was actually the new Hitler and he was just fucking bumping cunts off.
Always the positive, eh?
yeah, this is all just a massive plan by the Penguins. But no, I mean, it's real quick. Somebody like Elon Musk, who has $1 billion or more, and he's doing a space program himself, and he wants to go to Mars himself. He's a fucking billionaire on Earth, can live at any fucking luxury he wants. He can have. I mean, he can go hire those hookers to piss on Obama's bed, for God's sake. All right, so I mean, why exactly does he want to throw his life away? Something does seem a little weird about that. I think there's something we don't know about freaking Mars.
Space is the new frontiers that we do not know about. It's the unknown that we want to know about. I'm pretty sure that's what he's thinking. We haven't pretty much been to the moon since 1960, since like Apollo 11. And when we had space stations, that's it. We haven't actually traveled farther than the moon. So let's push humanity away from the moon and try to.
Apollo 17. It was either Apollo 16 or Apollo 17 was the last time we were at the 17.
Thank you for the correction.
But,
I mean, it's pushing humanity to the unknown. It's like back in the day with Christopher Columbus. He thought going west would get to Asia, but he discovered, but he discovered America, and that's how we know America exists these days. Because Christopher Columbus didn't know the Vikings and the Crusaders discovered America first.
Yeah, no, I was gonna back up the Vikings on that one. That's one thing I'll give fucking Norway and they did make it to America first. But no, MC, how about you? I kind of accept Moondog's answer, but then again, why are you gonna throw your life away? Because you're gonna end up dying on Mars if there's nothing actually there and no way to fucking live there. So isn't there something weird going on about that whole plan?
Why do people freaking off themselves? People do things for
Wait,
their own personal, individual reasons. There's nothing.
So he's suicidal.
No.
Hey, what was that cult that fucking thought that aliens were going to come and take them off, and then they all committed
Heaven's
suicide?
Gate.
Heaven's Gate.
No, that's actually really interesting. Heaven's Gate, and supposedly they all killed themselves, right? But you know what is still up and active and paying for the domain name? The Heaven's Gate website. That's a little fucking weird too.
I just heard Norway.
Oh, I was giving Norway props. The Vikings discovered America first before Christopher Columbus.
But
So I was giving them.
Christopher Columbus is the reason why we permits the widespread masses of discovery. Unlike the Crusaders and the Vikings.
Christopher Columbus fell on his bumbus.
Hey, just stop making fun of Chris, all right? He's all right. He didn't know. I mean, it was an easy mistake. He was looking for India. He found some weird people with spears, called them Indians. It's all good. Okay, they had bows and arrows. I should be a little more specific there before I get called racist.
Or in all fairness, the whole idea of the colony on Mars, you don't, unless you're actually planning on turning the whole of Mars into a fully inhabited planet, all you really need to do is set up bases there. From there, you can go, send people off to the asteroids, mine for materials, build your space station, and by extension, your shipyards from there. You've got materials coming in from the asteroids. You've got domes on Mars for the people to live in, i.e. the scientists and the worker drones. It's actually
but no, I got to stop you there though. The dome idea, because I've thought about that so much. Mars doesn't have a thick atmosphere like Earth. So that means the what we call shooting stars, the meteorites coming in, are actually hitting the ground. Don't you think that's gonna fuck a dome up eventually?
Well, just like this planet, you got to be fucking unlucky to be sitting right under a meteorite.
Or
Yeah, you'd be super unlucky to be the only woman on planet Earth to be hit by a meteor.
screw the domes idea. Why not, in that case, just build underground bases? That gets rid of the meteorite problem very quickly.
Sure, but you still got to dig it out, and then you got to seal it.
Oh well, we're gonna
not
send.
necessarily a bad idea.
We're sending Bruce Willis to do the mining. I mean, we all saw Armageddon.
Okay, I mean, there are things you can do with those kinds of drills and everything. But if we were really serious about trying to colonize Mars, right? The first step, all right, would be to send up all the supplies that you need plus, all right, and land them remotely in certain areas so that you can create an environment before the astronauts ever arrive. Before you even start sending them up, you're sending them all the supplies. You're sending work environments that are either totally self-sufficient or can be easily erected with minimal amount of effort. All right, for these people to live in at the very beginning, and you're going to have to send up a hell of a lot of water, and you're going to have to send up a hell of a lot of food.
Roughly 50 years worth be a guess amount of supplies to send first before the first astronaut.
Yeah, no, and I'm looking at the chat here. The Shepherd historian says this is all under the assumption that there is nothing already living on Mars. And Joshua said right after that we should terraform Mars. Well, that's kind of what we're trying to find out. How exactly do you terraform Mars? The ideas that they were giving on like the History Channel and shit, which I know, it's the History Channel, all right. I get
The
it,
Hitler Channel.
ancient aliens and shit, but you know,
Dude, History Channel used to be good on learning shit.
it used to be. Now it's all fucking how to make knives and fucking
American
cars.
stickers.
And,
It's the Hitler channel out here. Every second fucking show's about Hitler.
well, that's because they keep getting ratings, but you know, whatever. People like to watch Hitler. I don't know.
Did Hitler get a sexual fantasy about farting in the bath?
But I mean, I don't know how exactly we could fucking terraform Mars. I had brought up my idea, and MC shot it down, and his critique of it was pretty valid, if you ask me. I see his point.
That's the Nazi penguins with the drop bears. It's a conspiracy.
No, I'm not even worried about the drop bears. They're isolated over there in the fake country of Australia. We all know you guys are all just a giant call center and you pretend that Australia exists. We already know that. So we're not even going to discuss that one tonight.
Hang on, Dodge. Yes, hello, Microsoft. Can I help you, please? Sorry. I'm just going to take a phone call.
Yeah. Did you try turning it off and back on again?
Could you press Control, Alt, and Delete?
That'll be $19.95 a minute.
Thank you. Come again.
God damn it.
To be honest, the first thing we're going to need to do is actually sort out our robotics, because it will actually be robots that they'll have to send up there.
Oh, no, we're back to the robot overlords. Damn it, Jensen. I don't want to send a bunch of robots there. I really don't. Because then they're just going to take it over and go to war with Earth. I already see Skynet on their horizon.
My dog, it's actually kind of funny that humankind is so afraid of creating robots that eventually will take over and destroy humanity. Because nature created humans, and what are we destroying right now?
Are we destroying nature?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Nature exists as a different, as a separate entity and concept. If you want to look at it. Right?
Yeah, but like if you look at what human is doing to the planet,
okay,
it's kind of funny that we're so afraid of robots when we're already fucking ourselves over.
What are we doing to the planet? I mean, the planet wasn't this wonderful freaking utopia that everyone seems to think it is. Mankind had to struggle.
It definitely isn't. Why do you think we're looking at different planets?
It was never freaking planet.
I never called it a utopia.
Yeah, it's always been a harsh freaking place to live. So.
Oh, and Miss Allie, I don't know if you've ever met MC. I hope you have a thick skin, because MC will go after an idea. He never personally attacks a person, though, ever. So please don't ever get mad at him if you get into a debate.
I'll personally attack Gabby after he throws a few insults.
I'll only be mad if he continuously cuts in.
Oh well. You might end up a little mad.
If you get him on a rant, he will cut in almost every time.
Oh, I know. I've seen the stream before.
So she's well aware of what she's getting into.
Yep.
You guys are trying to scare her away.
No, I'm just
She's not afraid of me. Look at this. She's unafraid. You guys are trying to protect her already. Freaking white.
Yeah. And they say they hate SJWs.
Don't they?
Oh, okay. Well, fuck all y'all.
Hey, that's the one thing I'm waiting for too. Speaking W's on planes, when the captain fucking, this is the captain speaking, we'll be taking off to la 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 la. Yeah, I'm wondering when the SJW is going to come back and say, he fucking mansplained the whole flight to me.
Oh god.
Probably manspreading.
So speak of the devil, I checked the chat and LOL, fuck you MC, you twat. That's Cabbage Patch.
I was just being honest. Cabbage knows it's true.
Oh, it's somebody else from a fake country. Ireland doesn't exist. Well, okay, Ireland exists. Tell me about the leprechauns.
Coming from the man
As
who
long
thinks
as you tell me,
Bigfoot's still
you know,
moving around
I
his
was
yard.
south lost and you ran away to the north.
Remember, Dodge.
Oh.
Remember, Dodge. Ireland is a separate place from the UK. Remember, Dodge.
Hey, boys.
Wait, Australia's
There's
not in the British Isles?
Dream has turned on Mad Dodge. It's getting ugly.
But no, okay, we can move on from the Mars thing a little bit. All right, so
So we're
Jensen.
moving onwards to Planet X or what?
Oh, Planet X. I never thought about that. But no, I want Jensen. You're the closest person we got to a Scotsman here. You're in England at least. You're on a different island. Hey! Don't take offense. Hey, wait a minute. Calm down, buddy.
No. It's closer to Scotland than me, so screw you.
Okay. Damn, I'm pissing everybody off tonight. I'm on a roll.
And I am an actual Scotsman, so.
So Nessy, dude. Nessy, that was there was a deathbed confession by the guy that originally took the photo. And he said that he built a model, put it out into the lock, and then just took a picture with no frame of reference. And he faked it all, and then he died. Usually deathbed confessions are even able to be admissible in court. So do you believe this guy, or was it all part of the conspiracy and they got to him?
No, it's absolutely true, yeah, and fucking the whole town knew it the whole fucking time. They were just thinking, this is a mad tourist fucking thing. We're getting tons of money. Shh. Like the drop bears.
Yep, agreed. It was all just a setup to get people to go up there and try to get pictures of Nessie and end up buying stupid little toys and whatnot. So they made an absolute fortune. Good luck to them, to be honest.
Yeah.
They really conned the entire planet. Well done, them.
Well, that was quick. Nobody's going to take the side of the Loch Ness Monster. Nobody. I mean, they're even fucking dropping expensive ass submarines and shit looking for this son of a bitch. Dragnetting the loch with sonar.
They spent millions
Well,
and
it
millions
just shows
of
you that
dollars.
IQ is not comparable with money.
Nessie is an ancient monster from the
Just because you're rich doesn't
from the
mean you're
dinosaur
smart.
ages that no one can find because it actually blends into the rocks on the underground. It's so cold-blooded that even the most advanced technology cannot pick it up.
You know why no one can find Nessie? Because whenever they get one of those secret expeditions, Bigfoot finds out about it and calls him.
That was a low blow.
Sasquatch?
That was low. Yeah, Bigfoot's real, motherfucker. Yeah.
I don't believe it. Bigfoot's the only mythical creature I do not believe in.
The only one. Dude, you believe in lizard people, but not fucking Bigfoot? Like, have you seen how large the Cascade Mountains are? Yeah,
Well,
fuck Nessie.
he's
We're going to
He's
Bigfoot.
never seen Bigfoot. He's seen Hillary Clinton.
Right.
No, it's like this, Mod. The Bigfoot's as real as the South will rise again.
Well, did I fucking do something to you that I don't know about?
Yeah, you thought Ireland was a part of the UK.
The only reason why I don't
Yeah.
believe in Bigfoot because of all the people who are looking for it, yet they cannot find the first set of bones of Bigfoot or a dead body.
Bullshit! How many prints do they have casts of? How many
But also,
freaking
if you look at the prints,
recordings
there's
they have
always
of it?
one footprint in the snow. One fucking footprint. How the hell does it get one footprint unless it's like a million miles high?
He likes
One
hopscotch.
fucking. Yeah, he plays hopscotch. You only find one footprint in a 100-mile radius. How is this just one footprint in the snow? And yet there's
Because
no tracks, no trails.
Well, I can answer that. It's because it's actually a genetic fucking fuck up from the Japanese back in World War II, where they'd splice together a monkey and a fucking kangaroo, and it can just jump really far.
No.
Yeah, it's
See,
like one
That
footprint. It's the reason I don't believe in Bigfoot.
he made a deal with Nessie, and Nessie comes up behind him and swipes it with his fin. That's why there's only one left.
But there'll be swipe marks where the tail is, the cover marks.
Because it's the same monster from the Empire Strikes Back, where Luke fucking actually chopped off the leg as well.
Actually, the reason you can't find Loch Ness Monster is because the Japanese came over to Scotland, stole it, and took it back to Japan to make porn with.
That's a conspiracy.
Made a mistake and got Godzilla.
Godzilla!
We can't tell the Americans. We'll blame them, even if it's our fault.
No, okay, so in a vast area, like the Cascade Mountains, where it's all pretty much owned by the federal government and it's all just wild, giant fucking forest, all right? All the way from California to fucking Washington. You're telling me that something couldn't live out there and not be found? They just discovered a new type of ape not long ago in fucking Africa or whatever. So, I mean, there are other animals that haven't been discovered yet that are being discovered.
You do realize that
if it's government land, couldn't it just be some real gigantic fucking marine in a ghillie suit?
Well, Mad Dodge, you gonna answer the question?
I have to dignify that with a response.
I thought it was a pretty good question myself.
Well, no, but there are video footage and photos of Bigfoot, a lot more than Nessie, at least. You know what I mean? I think that's a more believable story than a giant dinosaur in a fucking closed-off lock. That, like, there would have to be an ecosystem for that, and there would have to be more than one. People would find Nessie. They would find the baby Nessie. You know, they would find Nessie the third. You get my drift? But up here, you could have a primate.
That same logic applies, dude.
No, but this is a gigantic area. You can't even find a human being with a sat phone if they get lost at Mount Hood. I mean, fucking a professor died a few years ago hiking up there. Last year, another lady died hiking up there. I mean, people die all the time just in the middle of the fucking woods. They vanish. So why wouldn't an animal that was maybe intelligent actually be able to vanish? Maybe they cover up their own prints. Maybe they bury their dead.
Those cunts who vanish, that's the Blair Witch, don't worry.
And anybody can buy a big-ass gorilla outfit and run around in the woods. There's your Bigfoot.
Who does that anymore? You got 4chan for the fucking trolls. Like, I mean, come on.
Same reason why people dress up as clowns and run around the woods and stalk people.
That was some weird shit. We could pivot to that. What the fuck was up with that last year? Like the fucking, like they're walking up on people's porches, ripping apart pumpkins and staring at, trying to stare through their door and shit. That was fucking weird. And then it all disappeared as quickly as it came. That was a weird thing. Was that maybe?
It disappeared because too many people got the shits with it, and even coppers would go, right, we're just going to fucking arrest cunts. And then they started getting cunts attacked. Well, like I remember a couple of times where there was some dudes in clown suits got the fuck.
Hey, Matt. Hey, Matt.
Yeah, no, I just saw somebody in the chat named Loch Ness Mob. Did someone say something about my mom? That's awesome.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
So okay, we have proof of Nessie now. I fucking take it back. I now believe.
Hey, ask Nessie. Does he want its 350?
Oh man, but no, that clown thing, was that a movie promotion for the new It? I heard that come out, but
I think that's what it was. I also think that if that was a really stupid idea, because if you go up in the wrong house and you stare in like that, you might have gotten shot.
Agreed. I think they should have shot the bastards. A, it would have dealt with the problem. B, it would have actually brought the police in so if they actually investigate it properly. And that is what they really should have done. Because after all it now takes is for a bunch of these nut jobs dressing up as clowns to start committing all forms of perverted crimes, and people are just going to blame it on normal clowns, and I use the term normal very loosely.
Just on the whole thing of clowns, remember that fucking presidential roast thingy with Michelle Wolf, and she's fucking not very funny. There was one part where she said that her careers counsellor back in high school said that she should either be a clown or a mime. I actually reckon what he actually said was that you've got a face that scares small children, and you should shut the fuck up.
But I don't know. It was just there was people on corners like fucking dressed up like clowns and dancing around with butcher knives. I mean, are these people idiots?
Prostitutes. They're called prostitutes.
What kind of hookers do you guys have in fucking Australia? Are they in cahoots with the drop bears? What the fuck?
That's to keep the drop bears away.
They use them to keep the drop bears away.
Well, you don't hear about any dead drop bears from dead hookers from drop bears now, do you? Fucking worse then, doesn't it?
He has a point. He has a point there.
No, we got brothels to fucking store them all in.
All the drop bears? You have drop bear brothels. That ain't cool. Sounds like someone's getting bit.
Yeah, that's the one we send all the tourists to.
Oh man. But no, the clown thing was really fucking weird. And if it was a promotional stunt by the studio, it was borderline illegal. They were going on people's property. That was
it started as a promotion for it, but people thought the great idea to do it anyway. So what the movie did and what people did are two different things.
Yeah, I agree with that.
The production people actually said this is a promotion for the new movie It. People took that and ran with it and did their own shit.
Yeah, they could do a civil suit for enticement, though.
No, I'm sorry here, but let's be honest. The weirdos dressing up as clowns and running about on the streets and stuff was way more entertaining than the fucking movie was. So,
you didn't like the movie? A lot of people like that movie.
There's only one hit movie, and it comes from a long time ago. And we all know which one I'm talking about. Not this fucking new pile of shit. No.
Yeah, okay, but that old motherfucker, at the very end, they fucked the whole movie up with that gay-ass looking spider. Don't fuck with me. I hate that fucking ending. I fucking threw that movie fucking across the room, and I was only 11. I was like, that's the stupidest looking spider I've ever seen.
In all fairness, the first part was good. When it was just the clown and they were still kids, it was actually a good movie. But I completely agree with you. The moment they brought out the second part, what the fuck were they on? Seriously, I dread to think what drugs they were smoking that day.
Same shit Elon Musk is.
Matter of fact, Elon just texted me. I gotta go drop off a bag. No, I'll be right.
Yeah, you got a phone call from Snoop Dogg going, "Hey man, got some of that shit for me?"
Yeah, get some of that Elon Musk weed, motherfucker.
What you got? Got a dime bag of Elon Musk.
Yeah, you'll find that the only reason why he wants to go into space in the first place is because he got some fucking galactic radio fucking weed seeds.
No, he got some of that space cocaine that she had.
Wait a minute. I don't have the little news alert thing like Memes does, but we have some breaking news. MC, she has accepted the request to show up before the fucking committee.
Yeah. However, because I saw that before I came in, she has accepted. However, they have conditions that, in details, they haven't worked out yet.
How is there conditions to go before a fucking Senate committee?
Well, she's been trying to lay condition after condition after condition on him. And one of the conditions that I don't think that they've resolved yet is she wants to make sure that he goes after her.
Well, I kind of agree that the accuser should go first, and then let him defend himself. He knows exactly what she says at that point, and he can go from there. I prefer the debate going second myself, and especially something like, I don't know, I'm being confirmed to the Supreme Court, and this bitch came out and said shit about me 30 years ago. That's probably not true. I would like to go second and rebut every fucking comment that bitch makes.
Yeah, there's a word for it. It's called a rebuttal.
What are you doing?
Oh, I'm waiting for UMC. Yeah.
It still comes down to the fact that she's, okay, yeah. Well, I want to testify, but we haven't agreed how to testify yet. Until she actually gets there and starts testifying, right? I'm still not going to believe she's going to testify.
False accusation until she gets her permanent innocence.
Until she's actually there, I'm not going to believe that she's going to show up. I think that she's going to come up with reason after reason for not showing up.
Well, all we could really do is wait and see, but I didn't know that news, and my phone, I have a Galaxy S5. I know it's kind of old, but whatever. It has the news thing where it just fucking shoots me the breaking news whenever it comes out. So I had just gotten that alert.
It's her lawyers that said we agree, but there's still details to work out. So it's the same shit, different day. This is the same thing that they've been saying the entire time. They haven't, so far as I can tell, nothing's changed. They haven't agreed to anything.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, and I don't know how much. I mean, we covered that shit yesterday too, so I don't really want to dig into it too much. Like I said, I didn't know if you knew. And I'm in the middle of doing my show, and I got the news alert, so I was like, I better fucking say this. But looking at the chat, hello, Christopher Kirkland. I don't know if I've seen you in here before. Welcome. Please like and subscribe if you are new, and maybe I just missed your name before.
If you like the Dodgers, don't subscribe.
Straight Sith Mail said a little bit ago when we were still talking about Bigfoot, I'm sorry, I found a Bigfoot trail when I was 9. Mind you, I grew up in the mountains, and there's no reason anybody would try to hoax a bunch of kids. Aaron Telford, welcome, dude.
I grew up in the mountains too. I still don't believe that shit.
Aaron says clowns are unnatural. The Shepherd Historian, there was a ton of clown activity in the South. South Carolina and Florida had a lot of weird stuff going on. So, and it was mainly based in the South, right? Didn't the first report come out of South Carolina, I thought? This kid was playing outside their house by the woods, and this clown came out of the woods, and they ran into their parents. Too.
Hey, kid.
Violent clowns in the UK, but amongst other stuff.
Yeah, no, it was almost like these people dressed up like clowns were intentionally going after kids. It was really fucking weird. And that's not a movie promotion.
Part of it was the movie promotion. I'm sure copycats came afterwards, right? That added fuel to the fire. But I'm telling you now, if you go to the wrong place and do that kind of stuff, expect to be shot. If you scare
my cousin almost shot someone doing that stunt.
I mean, one of the things that happened with Aqua Teen Hunger Force is they put those little blinking panels up in Boston, and people freaked out. They thought they were bombs that were being placed on the tunnel. This was a few years ago, right? They were doing that promotion.
I remember hearing about it.
They were doing a promotion for an Aqua Teen Hunger Force show or movie or something.
Movie. It was the movie.
And they were leaving these
this
things that had LEDs.
The government does not say anything about aliens because people freak out so easily.
Yeah, but they had these little LED things going on, and they put them inside of the tunnel there. I don't know what the tunnel's called. All right, and people saw them and thought that somebody had planted a bomb on the tunnel. Right, so they freaked out. They were thinking it was a 9/11 style attack on the tunnel that goes under the harbor. So
AMC, that was done by the CIA to test people's reaction. That was just Nothing to do with the movie.
Let's see how aware people really are.
Well, no, and once again in the chat, Christopher Kirkland says the scary clowns do it to scare people. If you see them, then they are recording it. Yeah. But some of the recordings were CCR TV, closed fucking recordings, surveillance cameras,
CCTV,
CCTV. There you go.
closed caption television.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the correction. But no, so I mean, they weren't recording it themselves. In other words, so they weren't doing it for like YouTube. They weren't Jake Pauling it in the fucking suicide forest. You know what I mean? But Jensen, got another conspiracy up your sleeve, or quinspiracy, I guess I should say. Maybe I'll edit the name of the stream. That way, fucking Magic Bollocks doesn't steal the name.
Well, I also put the thing in there about the bottle found on Mars, as we were talking about Mars earlier. You want me to call that up and bring it out?
Yeah, we can go back to space, I guess. Yeah, that thing was really weird. It kind of looks like a rock in the original picture, though. To be honest, I think it might just be when you see a pattern.
I know what it is. Has anybody ever seen the movie The Gods Must Be Crazy? Yeah, that's where that bottle ended up.
It's an alien Coke bottle. wait for the humans to sit up there and grab it.
What the fuck? Did a drop bear come inside and fucking start jacking you off? What's going on over there?
You never seen the movie The Gods Must Be Crazy?
No, I haven't.
Funny as fucking shit. You have to do it.
I agree. It's a very, very strange film. Though, in all fairness, it's actually not an unreasonable concept. After all, if you actually were a tribe living out in the middle of Africa, which is the base idea of the film, and suddenly this bottle comes flying out from the heavens, you would think it was some sort of gift from God.
And then it starts hurting everybody, and then no, fuck it, curse it. Give it back to him.
People are fighting over it because they want the Coke bottle. It's made their lives easier.
I am so confused. Okay, whatever. I'll have to see the movie.
You got to watch the movie, and rhinos are like the nature's fire trucks. Aye.
Oh dear, oh gosh. Right, Matt, do you want me to read this thing out, or are we not bothering with it?
Read a little bit of it out. Let's find out a little bit about this.
Ancient Mars civilization? ? NASA photos show antique bottle buried amongst rocks. NASA photo taken by a space probe on Mars have astonishingly shown up what is claimed to be an antique bottle, sparking claims it could be a remnant of an ancient civilization on Mars. Prolific UFO hunter Scott C. Waring posted the images that have been taken by a NASA robot on the surface of the red planet on his controversial website. They show what he claims to be a polished antique bottle buried amongst the rocks, which could have been left behind by a quote-unquote ancient culture. He said, "I found this when I was checking over downloaded Mars Curiosity rover photos on the official NASA blog. There appears to be an antique bottle laying on its side in the dirt under the rover. The bottle is small, about 3 inches across. We've all seen an old bottle in the dirt before. Another one on Mars. The object is very reflective, rounded, and has a long neck, just like a bottle here on Earth may have. Remnants of an ancient culture?"
In all honesty, if there was an ancient culture up there, wouldn't we see ruins after buildings?
But you see photos of stuff that looks like obelisks. There's also something that looks like the Sphinx, And these are all official NASA photos from the satellite they have orbiting.
And
And
the
it's
great
now
thing
in
is,
Mars
pictures.
must have
there's
been one of the
plenty
hell of a
of
party
people.
place.
There's plenty of people that want to believe it, and they'll volunteer to go find it, and Elon Musk can shoot them into Mars.
So
I'll
you think it's
volunteer.
bollocks?
I think it's bollocks.
Yeah,
think it's
it's
true.
just a rock. It's just a rock.
It's a bottle from one hell of a party from the Martians.
Well, no. Even with the atmosphere like it is, you had already said that if we were going to colonize Mars, we should do it in caves and underground. Could there be a civilization still there underground? Is that really that far fetched?
Well, all I know is it really wasn't me when I was on a bender once because it's a soft drink bottle. My usual droppings are a fucking beer bottle.
I knew I liked
And
you.
the disclaimer has come out. It's not mine.
Don't blame me.
It does kind of look like a Sprite bottle in the picture. I saw kind of a greenish tint to it, but then it's just buried amongst the rocks. Maybe it's some weird sediment or something.
No. Nazis did make it to fucking Mars because, like, you know, like the whole story. Fanta.
Oh, the UFO, the Bell UFO that they was making back in World War II.
It's a
They
fucking
actually
Fanta bottle.
They actually had success in the first one, went to Mars, and the second one was a fail that we found. So it was the Nazis.
Yeah, Nazis. Yeah, they left a Fanta
Darn
bottle
Nazis.
Those damn smart Nazis.
there. Nazi penguins.
It's only a matter of time before we find the body of the penguin.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the penguins drink Coca-Cola. We all know that. I've seen the commercials.
You notice how
and
NASA
more-
hasn't landed at either pole? They're afraid of filming the penguins.
Well, yeah. Well, that's it. That's another telltale sign of fucking Nazi penguin rocketry and all this kind of stuff. NASA's tracking the fucking penguins over the poles by their shit because it looks like the blast pattern from a rocket launch pad. They shit standing up and they just go fucking hard and it just comes out in a big splatter pattern. So then it looks like a fucking launch pad. So they're actually launching themselves that way, not actually taking a shit. That's them blasting off.
Well, no, and I see James in the chat. James, fucking hamster Maxwell. Oh my God, another live stream. Where'd the cabbage go? I think Cabby is working probably, or else he'd be in here. But yeah, James, I'm actually trying to do a show every day now, trying to build the channel up even more. So, yep, another fucking live stream. And tomorrow we're gonna do
trying
the
to bury
Civil
what
War
little
thing.
credibility he once had. Ensure that it never comes back again.
I had credibility. When was this?
Yeah, I was giving you the benefit of the doubt last time I did that, right?
Yeah, fair enough. As long as you don't give me a fucking drone strike, then I'm good.
No, you can't anymore. Obama's not in power.
Well,
James
And everybody
Bond
goes
Maxwell,
quiet. I was just
that is
that
one
was
thing
just
Hell,
a
it's
moment.
shooting at me.
in all honesty, that is one thing that Trump did do. Trump did come back and limit the CIA's ability to actually utilize drones. He didn't limit it. Took a lot of the power away from the drone strikes, back away from the CIA, and placed it back under military control.
Goody.
Sorry to derail the conversation.
No, I was just going to make a joke and say that little bit of dead air, that was a moment of silence for Obama's fucking presidency. Thank God it's dead.
Too soon, maybe? Too soon?
No, not too soon. He's going out in public now and talking shit. You never saw George W. Bush, who I don't fucking like either, mind you, going out and talking shit on the Obama presidency. I think he may have showed up to CPAC once during the whole 8 years. President Trump has been in office for not even a full 4, and already Obama has a compound in D.C. that he won't leave. He doesn't go back to Illinois, of course. Why would he? You know,
Because
Chicago's
Illinois
a
is a
shithole.
shit show.
But yeah, exactly. He doesn't want to get shot, so he doesn't go there. He stays in fucking D.C. with his little fucking cronies, and he sits and he talks shit on the current president. And he's also probably working heavily with the DNC to try and get President Trump impeached. He is trying to fucking stab the very first president after him in the back. He's just mad that the Constitution was amended and he couldn't run for a third fucking term. This guy is fucking insane. How about that for a conspiracy theory? Oh, it's not a conspiracy. It's a goddamn truth.
Yeah, well, he did try and get the War Powers Act so he can stay in indefinitely. But when you guys first got fucking Osama bin Laden and Julia Gillard, the redheaded fucking clown, everyone was like cheering, like, "Oh, the black president, the female prime minister," and it's like, all we're going to find out here is women and black fellas can fuck things up just as good, if not better, than fucking old white cunts, and we should just go back to the old status quo.
Right.
And I was proven right on both occasions.
You know, both you guys are trying to steal my thunder from my rants and my normal rants, and I'm starting to get offended.
Hey, dude, you've been hanging out too long. You're starting to rub off on me. I'm starting to get the rant fucking going. I'm doing better.
He's seeing the light. He is seeing the light. If only memes.
Oh, he can't be saved. Poor memes can't be saved.
Where's memes when you need him?
I dread to sort of stuff he'd come up with on this stream. It'd be I like Mars. I like Bigfoot. But to be fair, you just have to put "I like" and then hashtag whatever you want to put in on it, and there you go. That is me. All sorted for you. There you go, guys.
Poor memes.
Yeah, he's not here to defend himself. So I'll back off and leave him alone.
For all those people who are listening right now, right, think that we're talking behind memes back, we say the same thing in front of him, so he'll testify to that.
Say the same thing in front of him, but over the internet. Okay. How is it different?
But okay, we've touched upon this before a little bit. But CERN, a lot of people think there's some weird shit going on there, and maybe that's the cause, the root cause of the quote-unquote Mandela effect. Jensen Quinn, I know you've probably read about CERN already. There's some weird occult shit outside it. They had a weird ceremony when they opened it, and they're trying to make miniature black holes under the earth. Is this a good fucking idea?
Hell no.
I've just realised that fucking intelligence took a sharp fucking dip when they fucking fired that thing off. Wondering, yeah, there is a correlation with that. Cunts got dumber. They've induced idiocracy.
Idiocracy. A slow documentary that's actually coming true.
Yep.
Yep.
I have to say, though, that ceremony that they done at the opening of that thing, what the unholy hell were they actually doing? Oh my god, did you guys actually watch that ceremony?
Yeah, I have, because I watch a couple conspiracy YouTube channels, and they fucking showed it for sure. And yeah, it looked like a bunch of fucking monks, or I don't know, fucking a pagan ceremony. I don't know what the fuck they were doing, dude. It was fucking weird. I
know. I mean, that's why there's a whole bunch of, I'm going to say nut jobs, seeing as we're doing a stream like this. It seems a bit hypocritical, but there's a whole bunch of nut jobs out there that are suggesting that they were opening portals to hell to release the demon.
Well, you just need a Ouija board for that.
Ouija board only contacts the ghosts.
No, it opens the portals to hell.
They're trying to open the hell mouth. Don't worry, just call Sarah Michelle Gellar and say, "Fucking hey, come, go get back and be Buffy again."
What's that? Have you not heard they're actually going to reboot that whole series with new people?
Yeah. Anyway, I don't even want to bitch about the Buffy series.
We did do a thing. It's supposed to be some Black Sheila now because it's totally ignoring the series that actually did have a black fucking Slayer. And anyway, yeah, we did
you
that.
Mean
on
Blade?
Say again?
Do you mean Blade?
No. Black female Buffy, Kendra. Because Buffy died for a bit, which activated the next Sheila, which was a Jamaican Sheila called Kendra, and then
I remember her.
Yeah, Yeah, so we've already had Black Buffy, and we prefer that Black Buffy to what they're trying to do for the next one. So go stick the new one up your ass. We already had one. And we like that one, so it's not a factor of, you don't want a Black Buffy. No, we've already got one. We like that one.
The past doesn't count. It's all about now.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, that was the SJW argument. No, you don't want this one because it's a Black Buffy, and it's like, no, we've already got one. Fuck off.
You're also forgetting about the Black Slayer who Spike killed in New York.
True, yeah.
Oh yeah. Bloody Spike's fucking killed the mother of this bloke who ends up in the last series. Yeah, the school teacher dude. Fucking kills his mum. She was a black fucking slayer as well. So there we go. Sorry, man. Yep, cool, man. We got two. So even then, your argument about the Black Buffy is all doubly fucked over. Yeah. No one said shit about them two.
No one cares about 5 years ago. It's all about today.
Yeah. Tell that to them, though.
Christopher Kirkland just put the new Buffy will be a black Muslim, bi-gender, trans, pansexual Zer. You know what? Probably will.
Yeah.
She has to be fat too.
Well, yeah, and if you guys are going to start getting me started on TV shows that they fucked up, I'll go right back to Star Trek Discovery. Like, seriously. What?
STD.
No, they took a good character from The Walking Dead.
I hate to interrupt you here, but we now have to talk about something that shall not be named.
Okay, all right. I'll stop. I was going into MC mode there for a minute. All right. I hit the brakes. We're all good.
Still MC's thunder. How dare you?
That's right. I'm taking notes.
No, we're taking notes from you.
All I'm saying is that one
go ahead.
and then he's going to drop a rock on your ass, and you know it.
No, once again, Bruce Willis will fucking save me. It'll be fine. Not worried about asteroids as long as Bruce Willis is alive. I better check and make sure he didn't die today. Just be right back.
Politically, Bruce Willis is more closely aligned to me than he is to you.
Actually, not to interrupt both you guys, but did you know at 71, Sly Stallone is going to make another Rambo?
Oh, God.
What's this one? Rambo the cripple? I mean,
well,
yeah,
actually, saw a video of him working. I saw a video of him working out in the gym at 71, and quite frankly, he looks better than a lot of people who are in their fucking 20s. Yeah, you know, you have to give him to him that way, but apparently this time he's going to go after a Mexican cartel.
You know what? You know, like knowing what fucking like what Disney did to Star Wars and emancipated fucking bloody Luke Skywalker and fucking killed off Han and all that kind of crap. You know what they're going to do? They're going to turn him into an eco warrior in this one. He's going to be running around with lumps of wood going, fuck off with your bloody bulldozers. You're not taking my forest. And
all with a walker.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, instead of reloading the gun, he has to put new tennis balls on his walker.
Yeah, no. Instead of throwing grenades, he throws his colostomy bag.
Oh, dude.
Get off my property, you fucker.
Well, yeah, like don't do a Rambo thing with him at that age. Do something like they did in Gran Torino, where they understood Clint Eastwood is getting old, and they played it off perfectly and made him a perfect character. Really, he actually had a story arc. That was a good fucking movie.
That should have been Tom Highway from fucking what was that one? Where he was a Marine and they went to Grenada. No. Heartbreak Ridge. Yeah, fucking. Yeah, they should have made that Tom Highway's fucking retirement. Like, yeah, retirement. In Gran Torino, that is. Yeah.
Well, there's a way to take a great actor who's been up there in years and still place them in a role. And there was a way to kill Han Solo because Harrison Ford didn't even want to fucking do the damn movie. He half-assed it the whole fucking time. He hated it. He was waiting to fucking have his death moment. There's a way to do it correctly, but they're not. They're fucking up everything they fucking touch. I don't know why. They used to create good movies.
They do. It's called animation.
I've got a way they can actually fix the Luke Skywalker thing, right? Where because when he disappears, when he supposedly dies, his hand disappears as well, the metal hand. Right? I'm saying the way they can fix this is that he was such a fucking badass Jedi that he wasn't just fucking projecting all that distance. He was doing that so hard that he accidentally went and fucking teleported somewhere else. And he's now sitting there in Dagobah or something like that in the nude going, fucking hell, hurry up and come and get me because I'm fucking cold.
Well, no, and I don't think they should have killed Luke at all. One, fucking Mark Hamill didn't want to die yet. His character still had more growth to do, and he could have played a role kind of like Yoda did in the originals, where he actually fucking helped make that fucking dumb bitch, I don't even remember her name in the movie because I don't fucking care,
Ray.
Make her actually not be a fucking Mary Sue. They could have did this fucking correctly, but no, not Disney. Can't fucking do it.
Yeah, well, there's the funniest thing I found about the fucking Last Jedi was that the tit milk drinking fucking thing, right? Where Luke's milking big tit beast, but fucking Ray's up on the thing, and then the monster looks over at her and just gives her this look like, you know, like fucking she's a cuck sitting over the other end of the corner of the bed watching cunts fucking having a root, and the person who's getting pleasure just looks over and is like, yeah, how you going? It just gives her that fucking look, and then she just sort of gives it a look towards the camera like, I'm being violated. This is disgusting. I'm fucking surprised the SJWs haven't gone up and fucking said that Ray got raped visually by that fucking monster by like, yeah, I'm getting off on this kind of thing. Anyone else didn't fucking see that bit? It was fucking funny as hell. It was just sort of like, oh yeah, you love this, don't you? Oh yeah. And her reactions were like, awkward as fuck.
Christopher Kirkland just said that they're talking about redoing The Last Jedi and saying it never happened.
I hope so, because Last Jedi sucks.
Mm-hmm. Well, I keep saying too that fucking Carrie Fisher didn't fucking die of a heart attack. She died of embarrassment about this fucking movie and the way it was.
You know, they say she had cocaine and stuff in her system when she died, so that's probably what caused the heart attack, and that really sucks.
Won't be surprised.
Yeah, but it was the anxiety of this fucking heap of shit that fucking set off the heart attack. Having to face the fans.
Well, okay, since we have diverted into movies and TV, then I'll go ahead and continue with that. All right. The Picard series. I know I keep bringing up Star Trek. It's the easiest too because I know a shit ton about it. I'm a damn nerd. Voice of One. Are they going to do the Picard series fucking correctly? Or are they going to fuck this up the ass with that STD?
They're going to fuck this so bad. I'm going to make some predictions right now. One, Captain Picard will now be gay, and he will leave his gay lover at home to go back on to some starship. The starship he goes on will be captained by probably a black female who is also an illegal immigrant from Romulus and a Muslim and have a penis and, you know, want to kill all men. No, they're going to fuck this up so fucking bad. I honestly, I know many people mightn't agree with me, but I really wish that Patrick Stewart would have a heart attack and just end this before it begins.
Jesus.
And there'll be this giant space Lizzo that has all the powers of the universe and everything you could ever fucking think of, and she'd be all empowered and all this kind of stuff, but gayness will fucking make her fucking, I don't know, do something.
Actually, I think you're right there. Rey from Star Wars will show up and teach Captain Picard how to fly a ship.
God damn it. No, they could do this so correctly, though, and I've told everybody my idea of how they could do it correctly. You make this kind of a story about him getting deranged from the Borg incidents, and he steals a starship. He fucking flies through the wormhole and starts some bullshit with the fucking Dominion, and you have the Dominion in the motherfucker. Like, this could really fucking work out great. You could have Patrick Stewart, who's a fucking amazing actor, actually playing a role.
Why the fuck would a deranged Picard who's screwed up by the Borg again go after the fucking Dominion?
Or
I mean, the Dominion were defeated.
Actually,
they
there
were.
is a suggestion.
If you played Star Trek Online, they're not fully defeated, but I won't spoil that for you if you haven't played it. It's free, by the way. Grab it on either PlayStation or the computer.
There's actually suggestion that he's going to be sent into the Delta Quadrant to investigate the Borg and find out what's going on there. Just thought I'd let you lot know that much.
You know, to be really gay if, like, you know, there was a hidden leftover implant in Picard from when he was a member of the collective, and that allows him to telepathically fucking control the hive mind, and then they all become fucking allies of Starfleet to help out with the Romulan situation or some fucking shit like that.
I really think that'd suck.
I know, but wouldn't that fucking be gay that way?
Well, I was thinking the Dominion arc. I mean, I don't have the whole story flushed out, but I was thinking the Dominion arc because you could bring them back, and you could bring back a lot of the DS9 guys who were younger than the STG crew, so they're actually more apt to be useful. You know, like
the only one that they could bring back successfully would be Worf.
The only problem I thought is that, like, Captain Sisko went off on his spiritual retreat. The good Dax is dead. O'Brien went back to Earth to be in the shipyards. The Doctor, I don't know where the fuck he ended up. No one liked Jack Sisko. I mean, the only person I would like to see back from DS9 would be Quark and what do you call the wee kid?
Rom.
No, Rom was the brother. What do you call the nephew who joined Starfleet? Nog. Yeah, Nog.
Yeah, Nog.
Yeah. Those are the only two I'd want to see back. The rest can go to fuck.
I would like to see O'Brien come back, and you can have him come back because he's at the shipyards. That makes perfect sense. He helps Picard.
He's old as hell.
He was really good in Hell on Wheels, and that show was just ended a little while ago. That was a really good show.
Wasn't bad.
Yeah, actually, speaking of television shows, has anybody seen the Mayans show yet? I haven't, because I was like, I didn't care about that biker gang in Sons of Anarchy, so I don't really fucking give a shit. But my wife wants to watch it, so I was wondering if it was any fucking good.
Not seen it, sorry.
Yeah. No, I sort of got a bit of an aversion to shows that glorified, like, because we've got this TV series down here called Underbelly, and it's all about, like, you know, the underground fucking gangs a bit, yeah, and everyone fucking idolizes that shit. And there's Mark Chopper Reed, who's a complete fuckwit. Yeah, go look him up. Yeah, he's a complete dickhead, and fucking everyone idolize that dumb cunt. I'm sort of like, that's not really the thing you should be sort of getting your population kind of idolize.
Yeah.
So don't really get into that kind of shit. And apart from the fact I saw most of the Underbelly series when it actually happened.
I don't really watch television much, so I don't really know half these movies or TV shows.
So yeah, like I didn't really watch the Sons of Anarchy or anything like that because it's glorifying that kind of shit, and why would you?
Apparently, they had a Hells Angel guy in on the script making.
Yeah, Yeah,
Yeah,
but
they
like,
did.
essentially, bikies are scumbags and fucking criminals. So, like, well, why would you want to fucking glorify elements?
Because the bad guy's story sells money.
Yeah, it's kind of like Scarface. So why would you want to glorify that? But that's a great fucking movie. Goodfellas, Casino, fucking Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction. I mean, I can name a bunch of them where they glorify the bad guys, pretty much.
Merchandising.
Potter.
All about merchandising.
Did you just say Harry Potter?
No,
Harry
it's
Potter's
like
a good movie.
Godfather.
Oh, Godfather.
Oh, Godfather. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you said Harry Potter. I was
I
like,
did
what?
too.
Dude, the fuck?
Voldemort did nothing wrong.
Oh, yeah. House Slytherin all the way, dude. I'm telling you.
Oh,
That's where it's at.
Mad,
No,
you're mad.
I guess it must be an Australian thing because people, when, like, say, like with the Mark Chopper Reed movie came out, everyone wanted to try and be fucking Chopper, growing the handlebar moustache, and they were carrying on the same way, talking about it, like talking the same way as him and all this. And yeah, it kind of leads to vulnerable people trying to talk their way up fucking the chain kind of thing. And a lot of people went a bit too far and either got arrested or fucking almost fucking killed because of it. Because they just wanted to emulate the fuckwit.
I say let them die. Let the idiots die.
Darwinism right there.
Let natural selection take its place.
Unfortunately.
So do you guys in Australia actually have like your own movie industry? It sounds like it. Like, because I don't know. What kind of anything good that's like iconic, like Scarface or any of the movies we just listed off from America?
Watch The Odd Angry Shot. It's about the Australian Special Air Service in Vietnam. It's a fucking mad movie. This is like movies that was what Australians were like before all this crap happened to us. And there's another good movie to watch. It's called They're a Weird Mob. It's about this Italian fellow who comes to Sydney and learns basically Australian culture, and it's fucking funny how it happens. Gallipoli. That's another good movie. It's about the Australians in World War One, the Gallipoli Peninsula. I'd have to say the original Mad Max series with fucking Mel Gibson, just because, well, I'd have to because I'm an Australian.
Don't forget Crocodile Dundee.
Yeah, you can claim Steve Irwin, right?
Steve Irwin's the best.
Yeah, not so much Steve Irwin. Yeah, like if you just want iconic Australian movies, yeah. We did have a really shit house fucking movie industry, but the B grade industry was a lot better. It made those crappy horror alien movies and all this kind of stuff in the outback, and so much so that Quentin Tarantino actually really loved that end of our film industry. Back when movies were coming out on VHS like fucking a dime a dozen. So there's actually a documentary about it. I can't remember what the name of it is, but like he's even on it saying that like he used to love our fucking horror movie industry because it was so shit. It was fucking great.
Well, drop bears. I mean, you just capture a few and you can have them star in the movie after they get a little bit of training from Crocodile Dundee. It'll work fine. I mean, but all right, Jensen. Same question to you, and then I'm going to ask Voice about Ireland, and then Ali about Norway. I'm kind of interested because I mainly just watch fucking American movies, really.
You're asking if the British had a good film industry.
Yeah, and I've seen your TV, so don't fucking lie and act like it's better than ours. I've seen your television.
I'm not even
Hey,
going.
Monty Python is the best movie TV show series there is.
8 out of 10 cats. Cats does countdown.
I do like Monty Python, but like I can't watch that fucking Holy Grail movie anymore. The coconut stuff is funny at first, and then it's just fucking annoying. I'm so tired of the coconuts.
Every time I see coconuts, I want to do that scene.
Where did you get
QI, but with Stephen, not Sandy.
But I do like the one scene where I fart in your general direction or whatever, yelling down at the wall. It's hilarious. But damn it, the coconuts, man. Maybe I should just fast forward through the coconuts. But they're through the whole movie. I can't.
Your father was a hamster, and your mother smells like elderberries.
No, it's your mother was a hamster and your father smelled of elderberries.
Yep.
Is the Princess Bride American or British? I'm not sure. I don't remember.
It's American.
I think it's American.
For crying out loud, look at the actors. You got Peter Falk. You got Lou Ferrigno. Not Lou Ferrigno. What's that guy? Andre the Giant.
Well, Andre the Giant was Swedish or something, I believe. He wasn't.
Andre the Giant was
French.
Yeah,
he was French.
He was a star in America. Come on.
But my father was killed by an 11-finger man.
I did see an interesting article in Sports Illustrated about Andre the Giant. Way back in the day.
That his wedding ring was
I
so
have
big, he put a silver dollar through it, not touching the sides.
I have a like 25-year fucking history thing on the WWE that I got, a magazine or whatever, and it goes through like Bret Hart, Andre the Giant, fucking Hulk Hogan, the whole deal. It was before Hulk Hogan said the N-word and got fucking kicked out of the Hall of Fame and everything.
It's been reinstated this year.
I hope so. You can't just erase somebody's history. I was pissed when they took OJ's Heisman, okay, because he earned that thing. Yeah, he's a murderer. He should be in prison, but which I think he is still in Nevada right now, but on different charges.
Yeah, Hulk Hogan's been reinstated to the Hall of Fame. Scott Hall and Kevin Nash got together to pretty much celebrate the 25th anniversary of the NWO.
No, dude, I was a WCW fan. I was so mad when they got bought out by Vince. I was so fucking pissed.
Oh, I still remember that night. Because
So do
Shane
I,
McMahon, honestly, we went back and forth between that one night. Shane McMahon was leading on WCW and WWF, depending on what channel he was watching on.
Oh, I remember the NWO crashing, like, actually fucking probably breaking the law and showing up at the fucking WWF event or whatever.
No, that's DX.
Before they got bought out. Or no, that was DX.
Yeah, DX. I remember that.
You're right. Okay. Oh, sorry, we're nerding out on wrestling now. Maybe we'll move back to movies.
Bash at the Beach 96 will be the only pay-per-view with the most infamous heel turn that even today cannot be matched.
I don't know. When Bret Hart turned to the NWO, I was fucking pissed. I was pissed. But yeah, anyway.
The reaction is nothing compared to Hulk Hogan's heel turn.
There's some Sheilas with the WWF that were fucking looking for donations, and the Worldwide Fund for Nature is actually the mob who actually bought the abbreviation. That was also part of the reason why I had to go to WWE. So, and they go, "Oh, would you like to donate to the WWF?" And I'm like, "No, when you get your fucking abbreviation right, I might think about fucking donating to you." She goes, "What do you mean?" It's like, "Well, you're not the World Wrestling Federation now, are you?" Huh?
The campaign to get the F out to turn to WWE.
Well, they're the WWF, not the fucking WWF. The fucking illiterate cunts can't even get their abbreviation right. Fuck off! I'm not giving them a penny.
World Wildlife Federation.
Right? Yeah, World
Wildlife Foundation.
No, it's the Worldwide Fund for Nature. Fuck them. That's what it was back when I fucking first heard about them. That's what it is now. If they didn't fucking like it, they should have figured it out back then.
But one thing, they had the term WWF way before World Wrestling Federation came to be. Because it used to be WWWF.
Huh?
Then they
Right.
chopped out, let's say it was 3 W's and an F. They chopped one W out to make it WWF. Then all the shit show with the World Wildlife Foundation. Then the campaign to get the F out. So people accepting more WWE, being more accepting on that.
Well, no, and I also thought it was because they weren't a real sport because they didn't want to get tested and fucking for steroids and have to do the fucking Nevada Gaming Commission shit like boxing and MMA. So there was also that.
It's more in lines of it was the brand World Wildlife Federation, whatever it's damn called it, that WWF in the wrestling. It was really just be on the term WWF. That's why they went to WWE.
But no, I was thinking about trying their free trial or whatever just so I could watch some old WCW shit. Fucking see Sting fucking coming down from the rafters and beating the shit out of people with a baseball bat. I remember those days.
Dude, honestly, it's
Good old Sting.
If you like pay-per-views, get the WWE Network. It's worth it because you're only paying $120 a year. If you buy the pay-per-views on television, it's really $60 for a pay-per-view. So 2 pay-per-views is $120 from the television. $9.99 the WWE Network equals $120 a year, and you got like 12 pay-per-views under that price. Way cheaper than buying 2 pay-per-views from the television.
Oh, dude, I remember as a kid freaking babysitting my little sisters all the time. That way, because my mom hated wrestling, but I would watch WWF and fucking WCW religiously. I would freaking babysit my sisters all the damn time just so I could fucking sit down and watch it. But anyway, we don't have to nerd out on fucking WWF anymore. We're done. Any news over in Australia or any? Australian conspiracies. There's got to be some, right? Like, you guys have to have an answer for this flat Earth question where you don't even exist, right? I mean,
well, there is a conspiracy about the Port Arthur massacre. Did you ever hear about that?
Australian itself is a conspiracy.
Well, the kid that supposedly did it was too retarded to fucking function normally in society, let alone get a gun. There is one that I did hear, and it was a valid, not so much a conspiracy, it was a valid point that everyone glossed over, which was the rifle that was used was actually collected by the Victorian police, which is not just in a different state, but it's actually separated by an ocean. Because Tasmania is the little island that's supposedly below the big island that supposedly exists, that is supposedly Australia. So, you know, it had to not only get out of the state, but it actually had to cross a little ocean to get to this cunt. But the police supposedly in Victoria, they got this rifle and it was supposed to have been destroyed. So how did it get from there to this cunt here? That's the one question I wouldn't mind getting answered. But they were saying that like he'd fucking it's supposed to have been all done by the government to try and make the law that ended up trying to take all their guns off us in the first place. The first buyback was triggered by this. That the Tasmanian government had bought a morgue van that was designed that it could be set up in situations that they could put about 40 or 70 bodies inside of this thing and keep them for a couple of days, you know, on a crime scene. There's a special task force from Victoria already on site that was designed to deal with mass emergencies and stuff like that, including tactical police and helicopters and shit. There's a whole bunch of conspiracies along those in that one incident about, you know, and how did he get the training where he had supposedly an automatic rifle, but he was taking single well-aimed shots. So he walked into a cafe and just went, right, you, bang, you, bang. Okay, next one, bang. You know, how did he get that training when he was too retarded to function in society and all this kind of shit? Yeah, go look them up. They're fucking funny.
Well, no. What's really interesting though is the beginning of what you were saying. I heard about. I was listening to you talk about the gun being actually held by the police already. Isn't that the fucking plot from Lethal Weapon 3, where the police are stealing the guns in the depot and selling them on the streets? Right? I think that's the plot from Lethal Weapon 3.
Well, this was also back in the day where the Victorian police were shooting more people than they were arresting at one point. And it was really funny. There was one incident that was caught on a news camera where they were chasing this guy who'd had a... It was out in the back parts of Victoria and like the rural areas. And there was like 10 police cars chasing this bloke. And he finally, like the guy they're chasing, stops and gets out of the car, starts running across this field. And there's this horde of policemen fucking chasing this bloke across the field. And you can actually see one stop, and you can see him raise his pistol in the air. You see two muzzle flashes, and then he takes aim, fucking pops this guy twice, and then all the police converge on this bloke, and the bloke that had already done the shooting fucking rocks up and gives him two more while the cunt's on the ground. What was even funnier, that triggered the Victorian police to have a big review about how they apprehend people and all this kind of stuff, and they were trying to go more towards non-lethal type dealio things like pepper spray and tasers and shit. So
why don't they just go to like a beanbag round and use a 12 gauge? I mean, that'll drop you. Fucking beanbag.
They were going to that too. So the tactical blokes down in Victoria, they got this Land Rover that had these two jet nozzles that poked out the front, and they can just fucking hose you down with like 50 litres of fucking pepper spray. And there was this guy who did the Braveheart thing. He was like in a kilt and fucking big broadsword and all this shit in the middle of the Melbourne Central Business District. And this fucking Land Rover comes up, and they fucking just hose this cunt down. And they said, oh, that's even more inhumane. They was like, well, what the fuck? You can't get away with anything down there. You hose him down with pepper spray. That's inhumane. You shoot the fucker 5 times in the field. That's inhumane. What do you fucking want?
Well, MC, he just went on a long tangent there. You got any response? Like, first off, could it be a cover-up so they could take the guns? I'm starting to see that shit here in America, honestly. I'm not buying the Vegas shooting. I'm not buying some of these incidents. And I won't mention any other ones.
I don't know anything about the Port Arthur massacre. In fact, what I was doing while you were talking about it is I decided to go to Wikipedia and at least look it up.
Yeah.
All right, and that's what I was reading at the time. So
yeah.
I really don't.
Martin,
I really don't know
Bryant.
much about it. I don't know anything about the guy, Martin. The police have a very specific time record of him. All right, at least according to what they're printing. That's kind of interesting. But
there has been a really big, long inquiry about it, and it has been a while, so it's pretty thorough.
But when it comes to what are the police doing? If the police were selling the guns, the guns would end up just like they did in Fast and Furious here in the United States, right? Where they were basically selling them to drug people and they were coming across the border, right? So I don't think that's necessarily what they're doing. Obviously they're covering something up. The question is, I mean, that's going to be the question. What are they covering up and why? It's very possible that they are covering something up. I really don't know anything about the situation. Now, as far as Vegas goes, that's leading to more and more conspiracy theories. It's the same problem they had with the Kennedy's assassination. The lack of information, the lack of candor, the lack of openness is causing people to wonder, okay, what the hell is going on? And this is where a lot of these conspiracy theories come about, is people are like, okay, well, this all sounds well and good, but we don't know anything. All right? You're not telling us anything. And what you're telling us, when people ask questions, you're not answering questions that say, okay, well, then what about this fact or that fact? How does this play in? Even if you don't know how it plays in, instead of saying, well, we don't know, or we're looking into that, all you get is silence from them. You get a series of facts, and then they walk away as if, okay, we've answered all the questions, but a lot of times more questions are being asked. They still haven't come out, for example, with the Las Vegas shooting and explained, okay, why was the shooting take place? What was the motivation? You know, they won't tell us other things that they found in the investigation. All right, did this guy have a political motivation or didn't he? That's the one question everybody's wondering. You're claiming it was this individual? You're claiming that this guy, you don't know why he did it. It's all we've ever heard. Okay, well then, if he didn't do it for political motivation, if you don't know why he did it, then why did he do it? Did he have a political motivation or not? Or was he just insane? And if he was insane, how was he able to sit up there and case these other places? You've already admitted that he was casing other sites, which means he was supposedly, according to you, meaning the authorities, all right, he was going to do this, and that this was all premeditated. If it's all premeditated, he had to have had a motive, and it wasn't, well, I just woke up one day mad at the world. Not if he's casing up.
Like Mondays.
Yeah, I hate Mondays. Yeah, no, and like kind of like what happened in Norway. That guy made a manifesto. He laid out why exactly he wanted the shot. Yeah. And no, you've been quiet for a while. That's why I brought up that shooting. I was trying to get you involved, so I'll shut up and let you talk. Tell everybody a little bit about that crazy shit.
I'd rather not, because he's a big stain on the whole of Norwegian history.
Well,
okay.
We've never actually had that many shootings. But that guy, yeah, he's sitting up there in his luxury jail cell, isolated from everybody else because everybody else would kill him on sight, and complaining and fasting because he doesn't get the correct video game. Yeah, we should bring back the death sentence for that guy.
Bring back the rope.
He is a big disgrace.
And even for murder, don't prisoners get out of prison early in Norway? They don't serve their whole life like they do in the United States. At least that's what I've heard.
Not all murderers serve their life sentence.
Well, as he pleaded insanity, there is still a discussion on whether or not he actually will stay inside jail for the rest of his life, because God knows, well, anybody knows really, that guy's not going to survive long outside the walls.
Yeah, fair enough. And yeah, that shit was crazy. But we knew his motivations. He wrote a manifesto and released it. We don't know the motivation.
You know something else that was really annoying with that guy? After he did what he did, there suddenly was an increase of Russian neo-Nazis coming over to visit that island.
So he kind of did push his political agenda, which is that was terrorism. He had a political agenda, yeah. But
Muslims have.
You know, as I'm reading this thing about the Port Arthur massacre, what the hell were your police doing? What the hell were the police doing there? This guy didn't just take up a hold up in a building and shoot a bunch of people in this mass square. He was driving around shooting people. Yeah. That's why it was such a significant incident, because it wasn't just he walked into a cafe and just blah. He walked into a cafe, then he walked next door, and then he walked next door, and then he walked next door to that, and then he got into a car and drove up the road, and he fired on some people driving down the road. And then he went into another building and then fucking held that up, and that was like the 2-day standoff where 60-something, 61 or 62 people.
Holy shit. And you
said the guy had walked into a place, killed. Well, actually, he stabbed a guy to death.
He shot up a small town.
And then he walked in and went to another place, shot up a few people, went to another place, shot up some more people. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, holy crap, what are the police doing? There's shootings going on all over the place, and no one's going, yeah, we're hearing people scream for help, but nobody's doing anything?
You see, that was an easy target. And you also got to remember, too, this was the day pretty much before everyone had a mobile phone or a cell phone. And this is a rural area where there aren't that many police to begin with, and they're spread out probably over, say, a 50-kilometre square radius. And the nearest major town, like the nearest major city where they'd have a lot more resources, including a tactical force, is about 50, 60 kilometres away. It's a couple of hours. But that's where some of the conspiracies come into it. Like, you know, they say, oh, but there was this task force that was there that dealt with major emergencies like this, and the tactical people from fucking Victoria happened to be there with their helicopters and all this. But why couldn't they do anything about it and all this?
Why didn't the neighbors grab a freaking gun and fire back?
Because not everybody had guns and not everybody has the presence of mind to do that kind of thing. And the distances involved also, it's you're talking about sparse forestry kind of area. So you're almost fighting a jungle warfare situation with who knows fucking what, spraying God knows bloody what. You might identify the rifle as an M16 and you might think, well, fuck, that cunt might know how to use it. My argument is the same there too. If more people were armed, and had I been anywhere within probably about 600 meters of where he started shooting, I could pick him off with a 303. So you didn't need automatic weapons to fucking take that kind of shit, that kind of a threat out. But I'm trained and I know what I'm doing. Not everybody does. So there's an argument for and against there in there somewhere.
I don't really like the argument against everybody having a gun, really. Everybody talks about the Wild West was so horrible and everybody was just shooting each other. That's not exactly how it happened. It's been hyped up by, you know, Hollywood and, you know, authors and stuff like that.
He drove over to a toll booth and started shooting people. I mean, people were already running away.
Hmm. Oh no, there was one incident where he was driving out of Port Arthur itself, and a van with a family in it came the other way, and he just sort of stopped the car, opened the door, got out, raised the rifle, and he popped the one round into the engine, which basically killed the car. And I think he shot the wife dead, and kept shooting like single well aimed shots. Remember. This thing was an automatic capable fucking M16, not an AR-15, and he had it set on semi. You pop, you pop, you pop. So the whole argument about automatic weapons and shit like that is totally negated by the fact he wasn't using auto. He wasn't brain spraying.
Yeah, no. And this was in the 90s, right? Or was it before that?
96.
No, in the 90s, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Sorry to interrupt, but I'm going to have to head, people. So you look after yourselves and have fun.
Bye.
See you later.
See ya.
Thank you very much.
Enjoy, man.
All right, man. Bye-bye.
So yeah. But also too, that morgue van thing, a lot of people dismiss the point of that Tasmania is also, because they're such a small island, they've got such a big budget and all this kind of stuff for their emergency services. They trial a lot of things. They were trialing things like different paint schemes on their fire trucks, like a fluorescent lime green was one of them. There's no why they wouldn't have a mass disaster vehicle or a heavy rescue type vehicle of that kind of a thing to trial out and see if it, you know, if something happened. Something happened.
Well, yeah, and the response, I think, would be a lot quicker. I mean, I know Australia's not fucking tiny. We're not talking about Hawaii here. And you're saying they were out in the middle of nowhere. But they ended up in a 2-day standoff. Even in the Hollywood bank robbery, where I watched live on TV a guy try and reload his gun one-handed, and he shoots himself in the head. And you see the brains go everywhere. They ended up editing that later. But I saw that live. And I'll never forget that. I was a kid when the Hollywood shootout happened. But that was an immediate response. And they didn't even have the proper weapons to deal with these guys because they had homemade armor. They ended up going just to a gun store, and the gun store owner was like, "Here you guys go, boys. Here, take everything you need," and they handled it. Why couldn't something like that happen here? And also, why the drastic shift in policy afterwards? I get it, 60 people, holy shit. But here in America, after the Vegas shooting, we haven't seen that drastic turnaround. We still have our guns. We can still own a AR-15. We can still buy semi-automatic weapons. So it just seems weird how you guys, your whole culture immediately just went 180, and you're like, everybody turn in your guns, and they all did it.
Well, part of it was also because we had a gun buyback. It wasn't we're just going to take your guns and you can go get fucked. It was bring your gun into a police station, we give you a receipt, and you can get actual money for it.
Oh, we had the same thing going on over here.
Yeah, but not everybody gave in their guns, and this is what we had a second buyback recently in the last couple of months, and still more rifles came in and stuff like that. But I keep saying that it's because when my dad had his guns during the first buyback, he sold a couple of them. One I really didn't want him to sell, which was the semi-automatic fucking 22. Then it had a boss on the end of it for a silencer, and you'd fire subsonic rounds through that, and you only heard the action going backwards and forwards. Yeah. But yeah, fucking wish he didn't sell that one, because like these were the guns that it was okay, if they're not registered, you don't care how you got them, just bring them in, we'll give you a receipt, no questions asked, that was it. So a lot of unregistered firearms were handed in, but when my dad did pass away and the police did come for the rest of them, there were 27 guns that the police didn't know about. So that was post the first gun buyback and pre the last one. So you've got people who have died in the meantime, give away all their guns, and their family didn't know what to do with them and all this kind of stuff. So there's still heaps more out there, because a lot of those old farts are still around, where they've still got their old SLR and their Bren gun and their 303 up in the roof. And when they die from now on, the family's going to go up in the roof and go, oh, shit, what do we do with these? Oh, let's wait for the next gun buyback kind of thing.
Yeah, my response would be, oh, cool, a Bren.
Well, they won't know what to do with it, and chances are some dumb fuck is going to say that's the wrong thing to the wrong person. Their house gets broken into, and then the Bren gun goes missing, and then they're like, "Oh shit! Well, we're not going to tell the police about the illegal Bren gun that was in the roof that we're supposed to not know about." Fucking, so that's where you get a lot of these kinds of weapons still on the streets, kind of thing. But It simply did just take a lot of the guns away from the legal firearm owners, because a lot of the criminals did give up some of the guns that have been used in crime that they can't really use anymore or don't want to be found with. So the no questions asked bullshit just killed a lot of murder cases and stuff like that. But like it just like the gun buyback scheme worked to a certain effect. And in America, there is absolutely no fucking hope of getting all the guns off the streets, even from the legal firearms owners. The fucking survivalist groups and all that kind of shit that have got shit buried, and caches and shit like there's no point. There is absolutely no point to try and disarm America.
I won't sell my weapons to them.
Yeah, I know exactly, and we're allowed to have a right to form a militia. Therefore, they can't take our guns. The Second Amendment is the real reason why they haven't yet, or they would have during the Obama administration. He wanted to. I'm looking at the chat though, and the Christopher Kirkland has a good fucking comment in here. The AR-15 isn't that strong of a weapon. There are hunting rifles that have much bigger caliber and do much more damage. And there are 3 to 4 guns per American. That's the average, and that's true. The 308 is a much more powerful weapon than the AR-15.
Dude, the 50 cal muzzleloader is ripped to shreds.
Well, I keep saying, keep banning those assault rifles, because the fucking M14, the SLR, and 303 and all that, they're battle rifles. As long as you leave them alone, I'm fucking fine.
No, they just want the guns that look scary taken away. That's it.
Well, then why don't they take away Nerf guns? Because they make Nerf guns that look like fucking regular guns. Oh wait, they're already trying to get the kids to not even make a gun symbol at school with their hand. This shit's getting ridiculous.
They kicked out one kid for eating a Pop-Tart into a freaking shape.
Yeah,
I was about to mention that. They expelled one kid.
But it is like that's not even a conspiracy though. We know they want to try and they want to change the gun culture by indoctrinating the kids in school to not like guns and to fear them. And to a certain extent, that's kind of worked, hasn't it?
Well, yeah, to a certain extent. But also it takes to the parent to, like I was raised with guns. I won't teach my children about guns. My fiance, who lives in a country where guns is totally banned, she wants to learn how to shoot firearms because pretty much how America's been portrayed in the world media. So America is not going to get rid of the gun culture.
Yeah, what do you think, MC?
In what regard?
Is that what they're trying to do? Indoctrinate the kids to kind of change the culture slowly, kind of like they've edged everybody to the left. Pretty much the whole dichotomy has moved. The Overton window has shifted.
The goal right now is control, and right now, without taking control of the gun, you're never going to get control. Now they've convinced the vast majority of the major cities, right? The vast majority of people in the larger cities, right, are all for gun control. That's why you see it in New York. That's why you see it in Chicago. That's why you see it in LA. The thing is that the United States is far more diverse than that. And they will. They are right. I mean, you're never going to take away all the guns in the United States. It's just never going to happen. You've got to break the Constitution before you can do it. And they're a lot closer to it than people realize.
Not only that, like all these cities who have support gun control have the worst gun crime in America.
Yeah, Chicago, Washington D.C., New York City, Los Angeles, Sacramento. San Diego is actually conservative in the California spectrum anyway.
California spectrum makes it sound like it's fucking autistic.
Oh,
California is autistic.
I lived in California,
sure,
sir. But no, I think that about wraps it up. We're over 2 hours now, and it's the weekend, so I'm gonna get off here. Any last thoughts from anybody? Miss Allie, you didn't get to talk very much, and I know you guys have a lot of gun control in Norway. Do you want to mention something on it, or are you golden?
For the most part, cool. I mostly speak up if I have an opinion.
All right. The Aussie here. Aren't we doing a stream tonight with Eldritch? That's still on, right?
Yeah, it should be. He hasn't mentioned anything yet, but yeah, we still, as far as I'm aware, we're on.
Yeah, I know. The Eldritch God. Check him out on freaking YouTube. He's undersubbed. He doesn't want to grow, but fuck him. I'm gonna fucking show his shit right now because I go on his channel every Saturday. So
we're a training
go fucking
room.
Subscribe to the Eldritch. Yeah, go subscribe to Eldritch God and get to know him. He is a good fucking guy. MC, any more rants coming up, man?
Oh, there'll be rants coming up, but I don't have anything specific waiting right now. My latest one was just a rant that I tried something a little bit different on. If you wanted to go see it.
Oh no, I did. I think I already watched it. I hit like that way and went out on Twitter, and I saw you're slowly growing. 53. That's not bad for you just starting to do shit on your own channel. What, like a month ago? That's it?
Oh, I think it's about a month ago, maybe two. Not quite.
Moondog, I know me and you are gonna try and play Fortnite a little bit sometime this weekend. I forgot about the Eldritch stream, so that's why I brought it up. But what other shit do you do? And do you want to shill both your channels or just the one where you do baseball stuff?
Okay, this channel I have no idea what the hell I'm doing with, but my other channel, it actually has a theme to it, where I wish I can make more videos for. That channel is Ice Moon China USA. Go check it out. Even though it's compared to shit to other video loggers from China, like Serpent ZA and Laway86 and ATV China, but it gets like a pretty much to see the honeymoon period of someone living in China.
Yeah, I know, and I've seen some of those videos, and yeah, you do that with your fiance, right?
Yeah.
So you Chinese American, or you're marrying a Chinese?
I'm straight ass American. Half Polish and have no idea what my other half is, because my dad's side doesn't really talk about the past. So I'm pretty much white as white can be.
All right, whereabouts in the States are you? You just got a weird accent, is all. I'm trying to pick it.
Yeah, I'm Southerner.
Ah.
Mad Dog says he's Southerner, but he doesn't have the accent for it.
Yeah. I'm gonna keep getting shit. That's all good. And I think tomorrow, MC and I, and hopefully Jensen, and I'm trying to get Cabbage on, are gonna talk about the CSA Navy. Actually, speaking of Southerners, and we're gonna talk about the British connection during the American Civil War. I know not everybody likes the history stuff, so check it out if you want to. I enjoy doing it, so we're going to continue on with the series. But we're out of here. Good night, good luck, and don't fucking move to France. Oh, and fuck off, memes. Why didn't you fucking show up? Anyway, we're out of here.